It's such a pleasure to be here. I've never been to SpoFest before, and it's so nice to be surrounded by other poets. Sometimes I feel like I'm all alone being a poet. Sometimes all alone being a poet, I don't know if you guys ever have this happen. People in my family who are sort of suspicious of poetry ask me what kind I write, and I'm like, the angsty kind that's like obsessed with death. So humor. I'm going to do my best. I do have this one poem that I was inspired by Michael Louder. I hate these. Okay. I was hilarious. You didn't hear me because of the microphone. Okay, so Michael Thanks, team poetry. You guys are encouraging too. So there's this Michael Pollan book where he talks about how potato gene splicing works at Monsanto, and apparently they just like have these bullets and they dip them in this DNA solution and they load their gun and they shoot them at the potato and the potato just explodes, and this is how like science works in their labs, which is totally true but feels like it should be an April Fool's joke to me. So I'll read you a poem about that. It's called U.S. EPA Regulation Number 524474. Gene splicing the beetle-resistant Bacillus thuringiensis with a potato sounds surgical, but it's just a matter of firing a .22 shell dipped in DNA solution at the stem straggling out from the russet eye. If you're lucky, the hybrid sticks. Have you seen what can be done with tobacco and fireflies? Just for the hell of it, whole Virginian fields now glow under the passing planes. Salmon tomatoes clutch their fishy gloss against the pinch of frost. I think I'll give it a try. I have the gun you gave me. You said I'd feel better if I held it a while. I feel better, and I'm not giving it back. I'm firing shrimp into pigeons and dipping the deveined crescents of their wings in cocktail sauce. Thinking of you, I made peppermint termites to sweeten the swarm and larynxed the rats with mockingbird calls. I shot scorpion tails into the fighting fish, and now I've made a bullet of me to blast into your amber eye. Will you come out simpering like a girl, eager to perform your vulnerabilities? Will you recoil at the sight of a baited hook? Or will I pass right through imploding flowers of viscera without having scratched a rung on your double helix? I'd wager you could arch each disaffected synapse without even noticing me careening through about to hybridize the brick at the other side of your exit wound. Give a stone a language chromosome and it'll run with words like water. It'll announce in spray-painted letters that it hearts you, that it can't live without you, that it would rip out its own mortar just to think you might take a concrete crumb to jingle in your empty pocket as you remember what I used to be. Thanks. So since I'm not going to read to you sad stuff about my deep feelings, I'm gonna be forced to read a sex poem. It's not really sex, but it is about sex ed in Catholic school, which is absurd and hilarious. It's called Juan Valverde de Amasco. I spent some time looking at these like 16th century anatomy drawings, and these sweet men pursuing science so valiantly, but we're not allowed to look at women, so their drawings of women body parts are hilarious and wrong. Juan Valverde de Amasco. He is the anatomist most mocked by the experts for drawing a vagina that looks like an inverted penis. Sorry. It's the perfect example, they say, of cultural conviction triumphing over direct observation. But I look at these drawings and think, here's a man who believed in love above all else. We're lost for each other, and this is how the body should be. Of course, nothing fits together that easily. In sex ed, our teacher drew on the blackboard a face-shaped uterus with fallopian tubes and ovaries sprouting from it like feelers. She named the creature Peter the Bug, and we were allowed to ask anonymous questions, and she felt free to speculate. A guy who drank enough fruit juice probably would have punchy semen, she said. Because Catholicism is a religion of mysteries, she was a paraplegic nun who pushed on a joystick to move her wheelchair up and down the aisles. The hallways of the convent were lined with her paintings of roses in bloom. When the anonymous question was asked, she told us she had once been able to walk. The homecoming king begged her to marry him. Why did she become a nun? I simply loved God more, she said, but wasn't ashamed to admit that once, sitting in a pew behind a mother, a father, and their 3 children, I couldn't stop crying. I thought a lot then about leaving the order, but everyone lives with regrets. You're wrong if you think losing your virginities will spare you that fate. Thanks.